I met Jared about 10 years ago in a meditation centre in the Southern Highlands, and we both had an interest, obviously, in the mind, and had an instant connection.
Okay.
And spent more time with each other the last couple of years. He went travelling, and now we're very good friends. I don't know how I discovered yoga, but somehow I just decided to go to a class.
Right.
And I knew I just found a home.
First
class, there was an immediate reaction of this is something worth pursuing. So that was in '97, and so since then just been practicing really non-stop. But then I went to India, and one particular moment was I went to the Ayurveda Institute in Pune, and I saw a man there doing a headstand, and he was just rock solid. There was no breaks in it. It was completely smooth.
Oh, wow.
And there's something about the body, obviously, that's attractive, but also that reflects upon that person's mind, where he was at. And it's like, oh, I want that.
Wow.
So my passion probably started then, in 2001. Before then, it was just a bit of an interest.
Yeah. That was the defining moment for you, seeing that
so.
10 years later. Do you think you're anywhere closer to what you saw that day?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's moments of stillness and clarity and space, and there's certain, I suppose, also with my meditation practice, I feel I've developed certain qualities of the mind, or cultivate them, as it's known in sort of Eastern tradition. And I'm very proud of that. That's been my life work.
That's great.
Actually,
yeah, absolutely.
Of my life so far. So it's not about outcomes, and that's a real important point, I suppose, with yoga is to respect your own inner journey and listen with your body as well. There's always one side of the body that goes a bit quicker than the other.
Right.
So if my left side's easier than my right, then do the left and then try to apply what I'm doing on the left to the right. So you listen carefully to what's happening on your superior side, and then just try to do the same thing. It might be just a blockage in the mind, just not doing the same thing, rather than a physical incapability. There's a big theme of effort in yoga. What's the right amount? When is too much and when's not enough? So they talk about the knife's edge of yoga. So it's actually a pinpoint. It's not a gradation, that's easy to sort of find. There is a right amount of effort to go to areas that you don't know as well. So not to stay with the comfortable, which can happen if there's not enough intention. You'll just do the poses that you like doing. Yep. You'll do them in your comfortable ways. You won't accept corrections from teachers. You won't actually develop, and you will fail over a long term.
Absolutely.
You need support and independent kind of views of your practice. On the other hand, then effort can get too strong. Doing intense poses, these sort of things. You could talk about anything. This is a yoga practice, but this sort of principle applies to a lot of things. The right amount of effort. So Padmasana, lotus pose, that's used a lot. It's a very important pose for the hips. I can't quite get it here. I would need to have a strap around my legs.
And is it the idea to go as far as you can? Is it useful to just hold it?
Yeah, whilst you still retain a mental grip over what you're doing. If I push it too hard, then my brain just goes a bit haywire, and I just start to go into achievement, outcome focus, and then you'll see it in people's eyes. The eyes will go glazed, and they'll start looking a bit impatient, and the main implication of that is they've lost relationship with what's going on outside. They're not in relationship with their experience anymore. They've just got an idea, their head's gone hard and hot, and they're just trying to achieve something. And even if they got there, it's a bit ugly. So something like this for me, this is just turning up mental application, just listening to what's going on. So I've got stiffness in my hips. So mental application and repetition will get there. If I practice this enough, I'll get there. And it's okay to not get there
Yeah, and to go there slowly.
But you know, really experienced teachers, what they're looking for is not, it's actually attitude and intentions, and that shines through. You can see that in a posture if you're experienced. It's not just the final form, but there's an sense of integration, and what often is a temptation in yoga is to just focus on the physical. Everyone has some part of the body that is a bit of a liability. Spoke to many people about this.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. My one's the chest and shoulder girdle. What I've learned is that sometimes in this case, the ones that are the poses that are troubling, the ones that I can't do, and the ones that I give myself a hard time about, and the inner critic will come in. These are actually the cornerstone. These are actually the ones to practice. This is where the really good benefits and extension and radical changes can happen. So that's been very exciting.
Right.
And a process of overcoming my own kind of irritation with it, and patiently plugging away at it. And I think this is a similar thing in relationships and life. The things that are troubling us, things that maybe lead to a little bit of frustration, they're actually the really interesting things to look at.
Absolutely.
So it's great in yoga that there's a really physical manifestation of that.
And again here you'll see that my mid and lower back is quite flexible, but my shoulders are dreadful. And that's my inner critic. So I work with my shoulders here. As you do repetition, then get a bit more extension. And with this, you just stay light. It's heavy enough as it is. It's pretty heavy going, these things, but yeah, just approach it with a little bit of humour and lightness. So this pose is really good for where I'm at, which is stuck shoulders, and this is the opposite of what my shoulders want to do.
And that's the beauty of anything that's learnt in yoga, is it can never be commodified. It can never really be written in a book and then bought and sold and some sort of benefit is gained by reading it. It's only in the practice of it that it has any worth whatsoever. And for that reason, it can never be really consumerized. Although people will try, and people are trying, and I'm hoping they'll fail.
It's probably assured.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.